Good evening to my subscribers in the Philippines. Good early morning to my subscribers in America and beyond. Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. Our channel is for the new man and woman who's never been to the Philippines before, but who's contemplating a visit here for slow vacation or to rejuvenate. My 11 years of being affiliated with the Philippines doesn't make me an expert or a know-it-all. If I come off like that, I really want to apologize. I'm really just trying to be helpful. I do offer a unique perspective that I want to share with you to help make your trip more safer, more enjoyable, and to help you to avoid a lot of the problems and a lot of the mistakes that I made when I first came over here. I'm boots on the ground here. I'm in the middle of all of this. I'm not around the edges like a lot of these other vloggers that you see on YouTube talking about the Philippines. I'm going to give you the nitty-gritty. I live among the locals, and I'm never going to sugarcoat it. You say, well, what's the nitty-gritty? It's just exactly what I'm seeing, exactly what I'm living, exactly what I'm experiencing. And it's not going to change tonight. I want to talk to you about something that's going to kind of bug you when you first get over here. But I want to warn you, Filipinos are just trying to be friendly. When you get off that plane and you get settled in your hotel, your Airbnb or whatever, and you go downtown, Filipinos are going to come up to you and they're going to say, hey, Joe. And you're going to be dumbfounded, because one thing about the human being, the sweetest words to his ears is his name. And when people start calling you Joe, it's going to throw you off balance. You're going to be like, why are they calling me Joe? Well, just a real short history about that. It goes back to World War II, G.I. Joe. And Filipinos, that's how they address soldiers. So all Americans, and they're romanticized with Americans in World War II and General MacArthur coming back saving the Philippines from the Japanese. So it's their way of being friendly. They're not trying to be rude. They're not trying to offend you. But what's going to happen, after a while, it's going to wear on you. You're going to get tired of hearing it, and you're going to get frustrated. But here's what I want you to do. This is what worked for me. When somebody calls you Joe, just call them Joe back. If they say, hey, Joe, you just say, hey, Joe, back. And after a while, they'll stop. And that's what happened to me. Now, another warning, if you're a black man, they're going to call you Negro over here. But I don't want you to get offended. They really don't mean anything by that. With their Spanish background, Negro being black, they just affiliate that with the black man, but it's gotten better over the 10 years, 11 years I've been coming here. All right, because I'm gonna tell you, I got so frustrated one time. A young lady, called me a Negro, and I said, well, if Chinese are from China, Japanese are from Japan, and Filipinos are from the Philippines, where are Negroes from? And you know what she said? She laughed and said, Nigeria. Okay, so they're infatuated with black people, really. They love basketball, they love our culture, all the singers and entertainers and all that stuff. Barack Obama's real popular over here. But you're gonna hear that word. And something else is gonna bug you if it's your first time coming here. And I don't know if this is part of their culture or whatever it is. In my culture in America, staring is rude. That's the one thing your mother tells you. Don't stare at people. But over here, they're going to stare at you. And I'm talking about it's going to be uncomfortable. I mean, they're going to stare at you when you put your food in your mouth. They're going to stare all the way till you put your fork inside your mouth. I mean, and they're never going to stop staring. That's something that you're going to have to get used to. But I've got another trick for that. Here's what you do. When you catch someone staring at you, because they're going to stare when you get over here, I want you to look down at his feet. And that'll be the end of all that stirring, okay? And when they stare at you, whether it's a man or a woman, just look down at their feet. And it throws them off guard. I learned that. I don't know if I learned that on the internet, but I tried it before and it really works. But yeah, they're going to stare at you and it's going to be really, really uncomfortable. I mean, they're going to stir a hole in you when you get over here. And I want to go back to that, the way they address you as Joe and all of that. whether it's Negro or anything like that, most of the times it's going to be either little kids or men that's going to say it. Because see, women aren't going to say anything to you over here. It's just part of their culture. You know, it's not for a woman to address a man like that, you know, or to come up to you and start the conversation, unless they're a cashier or sales lady or something like that. But if you're walking around the street, no woman's ever going to come up to you and introduce yourself or say, hey, Joe, or something like that. Now, if it's a little kid or a man, they will. And let's keep it on men for a little while. I just want to address this for a little while. One thing, because a lot of my viewers are men, and a lot of them are coming over here to meet a woman. And what we do, this is just something that I've noticed in my 11 years coming here. When we come over here, we typically just avoid the Filipino man over here. We don't engage him, we don't try to talk to him, we don't try to be friendly with him, we don't try to meet him. But I tell you guys, that's a big mistake, okay? Because believe it or not, the Filipino man is more infatuated with you than the ladies. He really wants to get to know you. He really wants to be friendly. He's the one that wants to take the pictures with you, okay? So be nice to him, whether it's the tricycle driver or the president of the country. Treat people the same, and you're not going to have any problems here. But engage the men over here. Say, hey, what's up, man? You know, Mayon hapon, good afternoon. They'll understand stuff like that. But don't just, you know, you got your girl on your hand and you're walking up the street and here comes 2 or 3 of them. Don't just walk past them. Acknowledge them. You know, let's take the high road on this. Let's get out in front of this. Because you never know who you're walking past. See, my mother always told me to be friendly to everybody. See, and my career as an insurance agent, see, that's one of the greatest lessons I ever learned. I treat everybody the same. Now, everybody's not the same, but whatever house that I go into, whether they have a 3rd grade education or a PhD, I treat them the same. I say the same things to them, you know, because I'm going to tell you something, what attracts people to you. Your manners. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please, thank you. See, that's the sugar that attracts people. You've heard that saying before, flies are attracted to honey and not vinegar. Well, do that with the men over here. Because when you only come over here and deal with the woman, you're only getting half the story of the Philippines. The other half is in his head. And remember, if you've ever traveled around like I have, being a member of the U.S. Navy, and even when you go to Chicago, LA, it's the taxi drivers that have all the information. If you want to know the nice nightclubs, if you want to know the nice beaches, the nice places to hang out, to buy this, to buy that, you ask the taxi driver. Well, here, nothing but taxi drivers are men. So they have a lot of information that can help you to have a great time over here. So thanks for stopping by. Just a few things I wanted to touch on today. You know, hey, my name's not Joe, and man, I got bit by something. That's one thing I want to warn you about, these ants over here. In my video, lions, tigers, and bears, I didn't talk about these ants. And these ants will bite you, man. It feels like, I don't know what it feels like. It feels like a little rat or something bites you. It just bit me on my foot, man. These red ants over here, be careful when you go to the park or something like that. But I just wanted to talk about that stuff today. Because remember, my information is for the new man and woman. I know it sounds elementary, I know it sounds basic, but for somebody who's never been over here, this information is going to really help you. Because, man, when they called me Joe, man, I got offended. I was ready to fight, especially when they called me a Negro. I mean, he cut me like a knife. It went right through me. But then, you know, my girlfriend at the time, she said, don't be offended. They don't mean anything by that. They don't know any better. This is just what they call black people over here. But it's gotten better with the internet and LeBron James and all of that. Now they call us black Americans. But in 2009, you know, and then if you go to the province or maybe one of the slum areas or something like that, they're going to call you you're going to get called a Negro. So just be ready for that. All right? Before I go, Again, I want to thank you for all the well wishes, all the condolences on the passing of my granddaughter. They're making funeral arrangements now. Maybe I'll get some sleep tonight. I don't know. That's the reason I made this video. And I wanted to apologize for my video earlier. The lighting was so messed up, man. I really have been out of it the last few days. I hadn't been having no sleep ever since I got that news, and I made that video, and for some reason I saw it looked normal. But once I posted it to YouTube, I saw how dark it was. So I want to apologize for that. But I know your name's not Joe. They don't mean anything bad. They're trying to be friendly. When they stare at you, look at their feet. They'll stop staring. All right? They call you Negro. Don't get offended. Also, be friendly to the men over here. They have a lot of information they can give you. They're more infatuated with you than the women. They really want to get to know you. Most of these people over here, even though they watch TV, the internet and all that, they've never met a foreigner in person. And when you treat them with respect, I mean, everybody from the petty cab driver up to the president of the Philippines, man, you're gonna be welcome, man. They're gonna love you for it. So thank you again for stopping by. If you're in America, it's early. You got the whole day to find somebody to help. If you're in the Philippines, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please help somebody. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Thank you. Stay COVID safe. Stay COVID free. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.